Palantir dropped over $20 yesterday. But what a lot of people are not talking about is the fact that there's been a huge amount of unusual put options on the stock in the dark pool data. We're going to dive into that right now. Don't worry about subscribing, tapping the like button, or looking for the coaching and Discord link. We'll get to that very soon. Let's talk about Palantir. A bar chart shows a large, unusual volume of put options on Palantir stock for expiration this Friday, which is tomorrow. The puts are out of the money, implying investors are bullish on Palantir. For example, by shorting out of the money puts, these investors can get paid by setting a lower potential buy-in price. Today at market open, Palantir was trading at $123.11. This article points out that analysts have been wrong so far on Palantir, showing that it could be worth as much as $137.39, although that may take some time. Today, a large volume in put options with strike prices below the trading price, out of the money. This implies that some investors are willing to buy large amounts of shares if Palantir falls to this lower price. The bar chart of unusual stock options activity report shows two tranches of put options with heavy volume that expire on Friday, February 21st. Now, this article discusses basically what's going on behind the scenes, investors, institutions, but it kind of touches base on something called dark pool data, which is block and sweep orders going through Palantir. This article was actually written about an hour or so before the stock dropped over $20. It's no coincidence that there is a unusual amount of put options that are being sold and or bought, and then literally only about an hour or two later, the stock plummets $20. So there's something actually going on with Palantir. Now, it's really hard to say exactly what, but there has been a lot of block and sweep orders on Palantir and a lot of put options being sold and purchased. So there's a lot of investors that are bullish on Palantir, but the stock dropped over $20 today on some other news that I'm going to get into right now. But it's something to think about that there's seriously a big amount of unusual activity only an hour before the stock drops $20. This could be the perfect time to get into Palantir. Palantir falls after Pentagon eyes funding cuts to some parts of the military by 8%. Shares of data analytics company Palantir fell 4.7% to $106.90 in after-hours trade. U.S. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth asks parts of the military to propose what could be cut as part of potential 8% spending reduction for them over each of the next 5 years. Palantir provides governments with services such as software that visualizes Army positions. Officials say it does not appear that Hegseth wanted a major budget cut, but was looking to reprioritize funding to better align with President Donald Trump's national security priorities. CEO Alex Karp adopted a trading rule in December that would allow him to sell nearly 10 million Palantir shares through September 12th of this year, according to a filing on Tuesday. Palantir was up 340% in 2024. Now, it's hard to pinpoint exactly what's going on with Palantir, but I find it a little bit odd that only a few hours after all of this unusual put option activity that the stock price drops over $20. Now, granted, the Pentagon did announce they were cutting, and that affects Palantir, whether it's a small amount or a large amount. There is going to be some effect, or at least investors feel that way. So they sold, or a lot of them were selling off. The stock dropped $20 or almost $20 in the after hours. So the real question is, what were the block and sweep orders? What was the unusual put options activity the day of? And quite honestly, it seems like dark pool manipulation. This happens a lot in the stock market. Institutions will sell and insiders will sell also, and we won't find out until we get SEC filings, which could be weeks later. And the fact that Alex Karp adopted a trading rule in December that he could sell shares at any time before September means that it's also possible that the stock dropped because he sold shares, which we won't find out until we have an SEC filing. And a $20 drop in after hours today is very possible Alex Karp could have sold. And all the unusual put option activity took place only a few hours before the stock price dropped, and then we hear the news that reminds us that Alex Karp could be selling his shares at any time. So that is a possibility. But what about Palantir? Is it the time to get in now? It's $106. Well, we got to make sure that Palantir can hold the 106 range, because if it doesn't, although there is some support because it was a previous high, which I will show you guys, there's a good chance it could. But if it doesn't, $100 is the next floor, and then 95 and then 90. So it's hard to say exactly where Palantir would go, but right now I'd wait to see if it drops any further. If it consolidates and finds strength and support at 106, you could sell 100 or 99 puts going out to next week. If it starts to drop more and looks like it's going to the $100 mark, we can wait for it to consolidate there and then go lower to the $92 to $94 range a week or two out and sell puts there and get the juicy premium, because we really won't care if we're assigned on Palantir at 94, 96. That's a really good price considering we were just at $123, $124 just yesterday. Now, I explain this to my students all the time. Finding a bottom on a stock is very important. Palantir looks like it's pulled back to a nice support, not quite a bottom, but at least a nice support area that if it consolidates, there could be more of a run, at least in the short term and the midterm in Palantir. And this would give us a good opportunity to get into the stock. And this is something I teach over and over to my students in Discord, which you can see the profits on the screen. My students are making 20%, 30%, some even 50% their first month. And I would love to help you achieve the same goals as my current students. Whether you're new in the stock market, you don't know where to begin, or maybe you're losing money, or maybe you just want to retire, I can help you achieve your goals as long as you commit to yourself. All you have to do is go to investwithcorey.com. The link is in the information box below, and you can book a call with my team and I so that I can help you achieve your financial goals. But don't take my word for it. Let's hear what my student Shane had to say.
When I first started off with options, I knew nothing at all. Corey's program broke it down into very simple steps. Corey broke them down where it was nice and simple, and I was like, oh, okay, I totally understand that now.
How much are you up since the start of joining my program?
Oh, you know what? Hold on. I'll give you the exact number. Let me bring it up. On average, I was making about $2,200 a month day trading. That was average. In the very first month that I started actually selling options, it jumped up to $14K. And right now in December, I'm already up $6.4 thousand.
You went from day trading to my course, and you were able to go from 2,200 to 14K.
Correct. And I'm up 165% right now.
If someone was trying to decide between my program or another Discord, what would your direct and short message to them be?
Corey's program will save you time and make you money. That's the bottom line right there.
What would you tell someone who is skeptical about learning from someone online like myself?
I bought into multiple different programs. From my experience, Corey's is the safest, very consistent and profitable.
How long did it take you to actually make back the cost of joining the Discord?
From the time I started trading, I made my money back in 2 weeks, 10 days. If you want to count the actual trading days, 10 days. And then I just looked at it and I was like, holy cow. I'm like, I just made $14,000 this month. I'm like, that's like crazy. You know, just 1 month, it blew away, you know, almost my entire year of day trading.
What did you start off with in my program? Total capital portfolio. And what are you at now with profits?
Started off with roughly 50,000. I had 25-ish already like in stocks. And now I'm up to 75,000.
So you heard my student Shane had to say he made so much money his first month in the Discord. If you would like this to be your success story, go over to investwithcorey.com. You can see all of my testimonials right here. Just click on training, watch this video, and then you'll be able to book a call with my team and I so that I can help you achieve your financial goals. This is what drives me every single day, is helping people achieve their goals and dreams to make their life better. I love doing this, and it's what I enjoy most. So I look forward to seeing you very soon. So you can see here, this is something I teach in my Discord and to my students as well. Technical analysis, fundamentals, understanding how to trade stocks, find the resistance or support levels, and when to get into a stock. We can see that when I drew this Fibonacci from the top of a recent high, I drew this several days ago. I drew it from the top to the bottom over here where there's support, and we can see it pulled back to the key level, the 30 38.20 level or 38.20% level. And this just so happens to line up just about perfectly with the top or the ceiling of the previous Fibonacci, which is the top of the price right here back in February 4th before the stock broke that and ran up. So we can see that we're at a key level right now and it's likely to resist there. But if it does go lower, it could very well dip down into the 23 or the 0 level, which means the stock could go to $97. If it breaks 97, it could continue to fall and go back to 80. Now, I don't know if that is what's going to happen, but I think it's unlikely. I think a pullback into the 100 to 103 range is likely where it's going to go. Right now, it's at $106. Well, tomorrow when this video is up, then we'll know where the stock went, but it's likely to either fall down to the $103 mark a little bit more, or it'll end up back up in the $109 range. But it's hard to say. It's likely it'll run a little bit in the morning up to maybe 110, 112, and then pull back again. But either way, I think we'll end up in the $102 to $105 range tomorrow, which it'll be today when you're watching it. And I think it's going to drop a little bit more. I really do. But it's a good time to get in and sell puts. Let's see what the put options are on Palantir. You can sell put options going out to next week. So a lot of this drop happened after hours. It closed at 112. So these options are going to be priced in for that. So because the stock price is $6 lower, it means that if we were to sell, let's say, $102 put for next week, we're going to get $177. That's all. So if we were to sell a $102 put for next week, we would get $177. But the stock dropped $6 more. So that would be the equivalent of selling a $108 put, because 106 to 102 is $4 out of the money. These options have basically frozen premiums when the stock was at 112. So $4 out of the money would be 108. So a $108 put would be 325. So I'd imagine tomorrow or today when you're watching this, these puts at $102 are going to probably be around 250, 275. So if the stock drops to like $103, $104, we could sell a $100 put for next week, which would be the equivalent of selling about a $105 put. So if the stock drops to 102, 103, we might get $200-$300 for a $100 put the next week, which is what I would do. But these options haven't updated as the stock dropped a lot after hours, $6 or $7 more. So that's going to affect these option prices. But essentially, you can sell a nice put option for next week, $6 to $8 further out of the money, like say $98 or $100, maybe even $96, and still get a decent premium for next week. So this way you can get into the stock lower while collecting premiums. If you don't get assigned, then you can always roll out another week. When we get into next week, Thursday or Friday, you can roll out to the following week if you don't get assigned, and roll up if the stock is going up, or roll down if the stock ends up going further down. This way you can accumulate premiums on the stock. But I think this is a good time to really take advantage of getting an entry into Palantir. You see, things are kind of funny. A lot of people wanted to get into Palantir and they said, oh, if the stock ever dropped, I'd get back into it. It's very high, but now the stock is low and a lot of people are fearful and they don't know if they should get into it. And it can be scary when the stock drops this low. But ultimately, we have to see where the stock consolidates and finds support. That signifies an entry into the stock, especially if you want Palantir and you believe in it. And I don't think the fundamentals of this company or its direction has really changed at all. In fact, maybe if it did change, it's for the better. I think this is one of those situations because of all this unusual activity and the news. The stock sold off. It's going to consolidate in the next week or two. It's just going to work its way back up again. And if it does that, then you miss out on the move yet again. So if you like Palantir and you believe in it, now is the time to start looking for an entry, but make sure to do it safe and not have more than 10% of your portfolio in Palantir. And remember, guys, if you want to learn how to trade and invest and grow your portfolio, I would love to help you, just like all of my students. You can see the profits on the screen. I would love to help you guys. You can sign up at investwithcorey.com. Links in the information box below. Just click on training, watch the video, and you'll be able to book a call with my team and I so that I can help you grow your portfolio. And I look forward to helping you and seeing you real soon. I'll see you guys on the next video or in the Discord. Take care, fam.